Hi, my name is Liza, and this is your beginner's alignment series for inversion practices. So, congratulations if you flowed with me throughout every single practice of this alignment series, and I have it all in the link down below. And more importantly, for today's class, we are incorporating everything that we've learned so far. So we're incorporating our warrior sequence, we're incorporating some heart openers, we're incorporating some hip openers, including inversion practice as well. So for our inversion practices, I'm going to show you 3 inversions that you can do at any level, even if you have a back injury or there's something going on with your neck. You may need a pillow or a block, so you can pause the video to go get that. More importantly, what is the philosophy behind inversion practices and some physical benefits? Some physical benefits is we are turning our body upside down and we're literally inverting. So we're sending all that blood flow back to the heart. Some of the philosophy behind it is being able to literally change the perspective, to rewrite things, to change things. That's why I love that inversion is at the end of class, because it's almost like after all that work, after all that inner work, after all that focus, we are finally able to really have the strength and the calmness to change our own narratives and perspectives. And a lot of times when you're a beginner yogi, it's challenging for you to simply just focus on what comes next. But I promise you, as you continue to practice and this becomes easier, you will start to feel that change in perspective in a more positive way. You may feel more compassionate. You may not stress over the small stuff as much anymore. You may feel a little bit more adventurous or fearless. You may be able to speak up and use your voice a little bit more. So these are all little changes that yoga can actually do with a long-term practice. So with that, let's come to lie on down onto our backs. And I'm going to read an affirmation card for you. When I think I've surrendered, I surrender more. When I think I've surrendered, I surrender more. So just remember that for yourself. When you think you've surrendered, it's all good. Go deeper. That's the beauty of yoga. So go ahead, come to lie on down. Place one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. Allow the knees to fall in towards each other and allow the feet to be mat distance apart. Take a nice big deep inhale into the body. And exhale. Take a nice big deep breath in. And exhale. Last big deep inhale. And exhale. We are exploring this practice from the ground up. But we first connect to our breath. Without breath, there is no yoga. Begin to layer in your Ujjayi breathing. And in this beautiful space of awareness, tuning into how you feel, what drew you to this practice, begin to set an intention for yourself. It could be absolutely anything. Anything that you need for today. Take a nice big deep inhale into the body, into that intention. Sigh it out. Let's go ahead. Begin to slowly, gently float the eyes open. Slowly begin to heel toe the feet back together. Hug the knees in towards the chest and begin to trace circles. So again, if we do anything that you're unsure of today, you can always go back within the series because we explored a little bit of everything. Go ahead, place the left foot on down, cross the right side of the foot onto that left knee, and then hug the left knee in towards the chest, flexing the left foot and the right, interlacing fingers underneath that left knee, making sure the right arm loops between the two legs. Take a nice big deep inhale and exhale. Inhale, draw the left knee in towards you just a little bit more, opening up in that right hip. Exhale. Beautiful. Release the left foot on down. See if you can send the right heel up towards the ceiling, feeling a nice stretch in that right leg. Take a nice big deep breath in. Exhale, release the right foot on down. Let's take that into the opposite side. So hugging the left or sending that left side of the foot onto the right knee. Hugging the right knee in towards the chest, interlacing the arms underneath that right knee, flexing both feet, drawing the right knee in on inhale and exhale. Great job. Last big deep breath in. Beautiful. Send the right knee or right foot down to the earth. Extend the left heel on up. Feel a nice stretch. And then go ahead, send the left foot on down. Come to roll onto your side. Press on up to your comfortable seated position. Let's come onto the hands and knees for tabletop. So shoulders over the wrists. Hips over the knees, draw the navel on in, ground down through the fingertips and the base of the knuckles, hug the forearms in towards each other. Take a nice big deep inhale, send the belly on down, press into the fingertips, roll the gaze forward and up. And on an exhale, tops of feet to the ground, round in the upper back, chin comes towards the chest. Take a nice big deep inhale, curl the toes under, send the belly on down, press the heart through the gateway of the arms, roll the gaze up. Exhale, tops of feet to the ground, round in the upper back, chin comes towards the chest. Inhaling, belly comes down, press into the hands, roll the gaze forward and up. Exhale, tops of feet to the floor, round in the upper back, chin towards the chest. Last time, inhaling, belly down into your cow. Exhale, rounding in the upper back, pressing into your cat. Slowly coming back to a nice neutral tabletop position. Curl toes under, press into the hands and feet for your downward facing dog. You can widen the stance, making sure the feet are hips distance apart. Relax the elbows, keep grounding down through the fingertips and the base of the knuckles. Begin to pedal out the legs, bending through one leg, reaching through your opposite heel of the foot, feeling a nice stretch in the arches of the feet. Keep sending the sit bones up and back. And when you're absolutely ready, let's go ahead, come into your plank posture. Shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. Walk the feet back as far as possible. See if you can find that sit bone heel connection as you press the floor away. Take a nice big deep breath in. Exhale, press up and back, downward dog. Coming into that core work one more time. Inhale, slowly walking the feet out, coming into your plank posture. And exhale, pressing up and back, downward facing dog. Go ahead, slowly begin to walk the feet towards the hands, coming into forward fold at the front of your yoga mat. Big toes are together, heels are slightly separated, or feet can be just hips distance apart for now. Sway from side to side. Take a hold of opposite wrists, forearms, or elbows. When you are ready, release the hands on down. Ground down through the feet. Slowly stack vertebrae on top of vertebrae. Coming to your Tadasana. Great job. So grounding down through the feet, lift all 10 toes, spread the toes nice and wide, place them down pinky to big toe. See if you can lift through the arches of the feet, hug the inner thighs in towards each other, draw the navel on in, rise. Let's go ahead and go through a brief sun salutation mixed with our warrior sequence. Bring the hands together, thumbs connecting to the hearts. Inhale, sweep the fingertips forward, up and back, feeling a nice gentle baby back bend. Exhale, swan dive all the way on down, coming into forward fold. Inhale, go ahead, come up onto or into your flat back, sliding the hands towards the knees, melting the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, go ahead, release. Bring the fingertips in alignment with the toes, gently step the left foot on back, and bring the left knee down to the yoga mat. Go ahead, hug the inner thighs in towards one another. Sweep the fingertips forward and up, melting the shoulders away from the ears, making sure the right knee is over the ankle and the knee is in alignment with that hip. Keep sending the right hip back as the left hip moves forward. Take a nice big deep inhale. Exhale. Last big deep breath in. Exhale. Go ahead, send the hands to frame that right foot. Curl the left toes under, lift the left knee off the yoga mat, and pivot this left foot down onto that yoga mat in a 45-degree angle. Make sure the feet are hips distance apart, or you can make sure that the feet or the heels of the feet are in alignment with one another. And go ahead, slowly come to rise all the way in to warrior one, melting the shoulders away from the ears, bending on into that right knee, squaring the hips. Even if you have to shorten your stance a little bit, that may help as well. Remembering that warrior one is one of the hardest warrior postures to be in alignment with. Go ahead, keep drawing the navel on in, wrapping the ribs together and down as you reach the fingertips on up. Let's come into a heart opener. Interlace the fingers behind you, melt the shoulders away from the ears, send the heart to the inside of that right leg. Chin comes towards the chest. Take a nice big deep inhale as you breathe into the heart space. And exhale. Last big deep inhale. And exhale. When you're absolutely ready, go ahead, use your core strength, drawing the navel in to rise, pressing into the feet, and then reaching the fingertips on up. Exhale into warrior two. So heel toe the right foot to the center of the mat. As you slide the left foot behind you, adjusting, you'll feel a nice stretch in the groin. As you bend on into the right knee, hug the inner thighs in towards each other to send the tailbone on down, draw the navel in. Gaze between or over the middle finger of the right hand. Keep tracing the right knee towards that second toe. Last big deep inhale. Exhale, reach the right fingertips forward, flip the right hand, bring it up and back into your peaceful warrior. Great job. Slide that left hand down the leg or simply bring the left hand to the hip. Last big deep inhale. Exhale, windmill the hands on down to the yoga mat, framing the right foot. Come up on or hop up onto the ball of the left foot. Ground down through the fingertips, step it back into your plank posture. Take a nice big deep inhale. Exhale, shift the weight forward, knees come down, heart slowly comes in between the hands. Inhaling into cobra posture. Exhale, downward facing dog. Great job. So that's just one side. We're gonna come into the other side now, and if you've flowed with me throughout this sequence so far, you know you can always take a child's pose, and maybe the poses are beginning to make more sense as we begin to flow towards you from the bottom up. Last big deep inhale. Sigh it out. All right, gaze between the hands. Go ahead, walk the feet towards the hands. Perfect. Inhale into Ardha Uttanasana, your flat back, sliding the hands towards the knees, feeling that nice length in the spine, gazing to the front of your mat. Exhale, go ahead, release into your forward fold posture. Sweep the arms out to the side and up. Hands come through prayer. Whew. And release. We should be feeling nice and warmed up. Let's go ahead, take that into the opposite side. Grounding down through the feet, finding that core stability, drawing the navel in, lengthening, smiling through the collarbones as you wrap the rib cage together and down. Engage the glute muscles. Go ahead, see if you can sweep the arms out to the side, reaching the hands up. Exhale, swan dive all the way on down. Inhale into your flat back. Go ahead, slide the hands up towards the knees. Exhale, go ahead, release. Bring the fingertips in alignment with those toes. Step that right foot on back. Bring the right knee down to the yoga mat. And I'm actually gonna widen my stance just a little bit more. Knee comes over the ankle. Go ahead, sweep the fingertips forward and up. Keep the toes curled under, or you can just allow the top of that foot to rest onto the yoga mat. Sometimes you may catch me switching between the two. Go ahead, reach the fingertips up a little bit more as you send the hips forward and down. Hug the inner thighs in towards one another. Send the left hip back as the right hip moves forward. Take a nice big deep inhale. Exhale, release the hands on down to frame the left foot. Curl the right toes under. If they're not already curled under, lift the right knee off the yoga mat. Pivot the right foot down. Again, heel to heel, or feet are hips distance apart. So feet are either heel to heel or hips distance. Go ahead, reach the fingertips on up. Keep sending the right hip forward as the whole left leg kind of sends that energy back into space. Take a nice big deep breath in. Exhale. Last big deep inhale. Exhale, release the hands on down. Interlace fingers behind you and then go ahead. See if you can send the heart to the inside of the left leg as the chin comes towards the chest, getting into that heart opener. Take a nice big deep inhale and exhale. Last big deep breath in. Exhale. Use your core strength as you draw the navel in, press down into the feet, rise. Go ahead, come into warrior two. Bringing the arms, or reaching the arms out to side, heel toeing the left foot to center, making sure it's making an imaginary line, cutting the right foot in half. You're tracing that knee towards the second toe. Go ahead, inhale. Exhale, bend your absolute deepest, making sure this femur is as parallel to the mat as possible. Reach the left fingertips forward, flip the left hand, bring it up and back into your peaceful warrior. Maybe the right hand just rests. Maybe the right hand just rests on the hip. Maybe you can send that right hand down the leg. Take a nice big deep inhale and exhale. Last big deep breath in, exhale. All right, windmill the hands on down. Come onto the ball of the right foot. Step back into your plank posture. This time, see if we can lower on down by shifting the weight forward and then bending the elbows, lowering all the way down onto your belly. Tops of feet come to the floor. See if you can interlace fingers behind you and rise through head, neck, and chest. Press the tops of the feet into the floor as you continue to rise through head, neck, and chest, coming a little bit deeper into this heart opening posture. Maybe you can bring the tops of the feet off the yoga mat. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Big deep inhale. Exhale. Big deep inhale. Exhale. Last big deep breath here. Exhale. When you are ready, go ahead, slowly send the hands to frame the heart. Curl toes under, press up and back. Downward facing dog. You can always take a child's pose. Take a nice big deep inhale and sigh it out. Last but not least, a balance posture. Go ahead, gaze in between the hands. Inhale the right heel all the way up towards the ceiling. Then step the right foot in between the hands, or help it forward if you need to. Ground down through the fingertips and then take a leap of faith. Kick the left heel on up, sending the fingertips in alignment with the shoulders, keeping the hips nice and square. Supported warrior three. When you are ready, go ahead, see if you can send the left hand to the hip, and then see if you can open the hip on up. Remember, with balance postures, if you fall, Isn't that part of the journey? Don't fear falling. If you think you've gotten better at your balance postures from this series, remember, when I think I've surrendered, surrender more. Last big deep inhale. Exhale, go ahead. Ooh. Step that left foot on back. Grounding down through the fingertips. Go ahead, step the right foot on back. Go through your vinyasa. Knees, chest, chin. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Great job. Last balance posture. Inhale the left heel up. Draw the knee in towards the nose as lightly as possible. Step that left foot in between the hands or help it forward. Ground down through the fingertips. Gaze at a spot, the drishti, that spot that will help you focus when you're trying to balance. And then go ahead, kick the left heel up. You can stay here, or you can send the right hand to the hip. You can stay there, or you can begin to open on up, flexing the right foot. You can stay here, or you can reach the right hand up. Inhale, and exhale. Last big deep breath in. Go ahead, slowly release the right hand on down. Bring the right foot back down onto the yoga mat. Step back into your plank posture. Make sure the shoulders are over the wrists. Make sure the ribs are hugging in. Take a nice big deep inhale. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, take a well-deserved child's pose. Great job. So that's pretty much a yoga class right there. Big deep inhale. Gentle exhale. Last big deep breath in. Sigh it out. Now it is time to change up the perspective. So we're nice and warmed up. Come to sit onto the heels of your feet. See if you can go ahead, I'm rolling up my sleeves, and come to sit. Now, if you are tired or if you're ever stressed, maybe your neck is tweaked, your lower back hurts, you don't want to come into a full inversion. You want to come on into this legs up the wall. You could do this with a pillow. You can do this with a blanket, a rolled up towel, or a block. Your choice. So I'm going to go ahead. This is the trickiest part of this inversion. I'm going to feel the back of the heels, but make sure that my feet are nice and stable. Then I'm going to go ahead and press into the feet and lift my hips. And then I'm going to send the block underneath the flat bony part of the lower back, my sacrum. It's right where the lower back meets the top of the glute muscles. And then I extend one leg up and then the other. And I just allow myself to be here. You can stay here the whole time, or we could take it a little bit deeper. So I'm gonna go ahead, place my feet on down. I think it's important that you watch me before you come into this specific inversion practice, specifically if you have any challenges with your neck. So this is called shoulder stand practice. I'm gonna use my core strength to see if I can lift my lower body off the ground. I'm pressing into my elbows and then I'm sending my hands to the lower back and I'm sending my feet on up. Now, shoulder stand is still a really challenging posture for me. It's one of those postures that if it's challenging for you, you should do it every day. I should take that advice. And then eventually you can come into plow pose. If your feet don't reach the ground all the way, that is okay. And go ahead
If you want to, you can stay here. You can continue to play, lowering and raising the legs. Gaze forward at the legs, not side to side. You will hurt your neck that way. And then go ahead. Maybe you want to stay. Maybe you want to advance with me. Last but not least, I'm going to roll on up to my seated position. Last but definitely not least. Headstand practice. Headstand is all about changing your perspective and going upside down. Go ahead and start at the back of your mat. And again, if you are watching, this is the first time you have attempted this, please, please, please watch me first. I also invite you to play with this at a wall. So go ahead, I'm going to show you away from the wall first. We interlace our fingers. We make a dome shape with our arms. How do we know the elbows are evenly spaced out? We bring our hands to our elbows and then we interlace the fingers. But I always like to create a nice little arch, a nice little dome shape so I can press into the elbows and the forearms. The crown of our head comes down to the yoga mat. Go ahead, lift the knees off the yoga mat and walk the feet towards the face. You can choose to stay here as a beginner. This is already a lot. If you want to see how deep you can go, I'm going to go ahead and take off my sweater for this one. So you can see my alignment. Interlace the fingers, feel for the elbows, make that dome shape. Bring the head to the mat, come up onto the toes. Walk the feet towards the face, and then we start with sending one knee in and then the other. We see if we can send the hips over those shoulders. This is already you're in headstand. You want to take it a step further. The knees come in alignment with the hips. Feet come in alignment with the knees. Press into the forearms. Breathe. You're changing the perspective. When you're absolutely ready, you come back down the same way you came in. So those are the 3 inversion practices that I am sharing with you. You may think to yourself, this is standing on our head as in a beginner. And in many ways, it is, because it's the beginning of thinking it may be even possible for you to play with it. Again, I invite you to try that at the wall. And I'll have a side video for you as we close down this practice. We need to keep it condensed, but I'll have a side video with you of how to do it at the wall, and I'll link it down below. So let's go ahead and come back to a seated position. If you are on your back, go ahead, let go of whatever posture you're playing with, whether it's legs up the wall or shoulder stand. Slowly come to roll down onto the back. And then anyone who's playing with headstand, we come to roll onto our backs. Hug the knees in towards the chest, rock from side to side. Take a moment of gratitude for all that you have done and for all that you do. Place the feet down onto the yoga mat. Scooch the hips over to the left and allow the knees to fall on over to the right. Using your right hand to guide that left knee down. We are lengthening away, so hip lengthens away from the shoulder. Slowly bring the knees back to center. Scooch the hips over to the right. And allow the knees to fall on over to the left. Cactusing out that right arm. Take a nice big deep inhale into the body. And exhale. Last big deep breath in. When you're absolutely ready, slowly bring the legs back to center. Let's come on into our Shavasana and then bring the legs together. I want to end this practice with a little bit of a heart opener, sending the spine in the opposite direction for those who did shoulder stand. Sending the hands underneath the legs. And see if I can, or I'm seeing if I can activate through the feet, pointing the balls of the toes down, but flexing and spreading through the toes, just really kind of pointing, flexing and pointing. And then see if we can hug the inner thighs in towards each other. Press the tailbone into the mat, opening up in that heart space. It's almost like we're drawing the belly and the heart up towards the ceiling. You can stay here, or maybe see if you can come onto the head. Last big deep inhale. And exhale. Just release. Perfect. Into our Shavasana. Flip the palms up towards the ceiling. Take a nice big deep inhale into the belly. Exhale. Let go. Surrender into this posture. Release, relax into the posture. Breathing into the heart space. And exhale. When you've thought that you've done enough, or you've let go enough, or you've relaxed the legs, the hips, the arms enough, relax a little bit more. Breathing in. Thoughts float by in the mind. Clear the mind. Give your mind a rest, your body a rest from all the hard work it has done. You can choose to stay in this Shavasana for as long as you wish. Or you can come out of it, ready to start. the next phase of your time and day. Roll onto the side and press on up to your comfortable position. I thank you so much for practicing with me, for allowing yourself to be open to something new, for allowing yourself to change the perspective maybe about yourself, your mindset towards life off the mat, and your mindset towards life on the mat. May these practices continue to serve you. May you continue your journey, deepening your practice, learning more about yourself and all the world around you for the rest of your life. Bring the hands to prayer. May there always be peace and love within your thoughts. May there always be peace and love within your words. May there always be peace and love within your heart. Om Shanti Shanti, peace, bowing down to the divine light that is within each and every one of us. Namaste, yogi. I hope you enjoyed this series and this video. Have an amazing rest of your day, night, evening, or weekend. Namaste.